two Indian origin businessmen are in the London mayoral polls race. In fact, 63-year-old Tarun Ghulati is among the 12 candidates who are in the fray. And he interestingly launched his campaign in Hyderabad during his visit to India. His campaign tagline is Trust and Growth. He was an investment banker and he's contesting as an independent candidate. And he was born in Delhi and he has spent over 20 years in London. Tarun Ghulati is joining us live on NDTV at this hour. Mr. Ghulati, thanks very much for joining us on NDTV.
Thank you very much for having me today, Vedant. My pleasure.
And very interesting that you have Rishi Sunak at the helm as a Prime Minister, and you have two Indian origin businessmen in the fray for the London mayoral polls. The Indian diaspora is certainly going from strength to strength when it comes to, cities like London, countries like the UK.
Most certainly. I think Indians, I started my journey in India, and my family heritage has been involved in public service over 3 centuries, the 19th, 20th and 21st. And I certainly believe Indians are hardworking and we add value. So I've obviously lived in various continents and risen to the top in the financial services world. And I believe I'll run London as a CEO should. And the current incumbent has brought London to a standstill. And the Conservative candidate is considered fairly uninspiring by most. So I think I'll be the front runner and I'll win this election come May the 2nd.
Absolutely. And just looking at your journey as well, from an investment banker to sort of your mayoral campaign bid, how difficult or easy was it, and how has the gaze on Indians or people from the Indian diaspora changed, particularly in the past couple of years?
I think, as I was hinting earlier, particularly for me, I don't know about any other candidate. I don't see any other camera. I'm like a racehorse focused. Without any blinkers. My sights are on Mr. Sadiq Khan, nobody else. I don't think any other candidate can pip him except myself. So coming to the Indian aspect, you need somebody who has the gravitas and somebody who's got the experience. Don't forget, this is over a 21 billion sterling budget. So you need somebody who understands those digits, has run businesses of that stature. So Indians, particularly if you notice anywhere in the world, whether it's Silicon Valley or wherever, we are running top corporates.
Yes.
I've been a deputy chairman of a bank, sat on over 48 boards. You need to have the credentials to be able to lead a city where at least the diaspora of over 270 nations live. This is like a global bank where cultures converge. So you need somebody who understands the cultural nuances, and I think I'm the best man to do that job.
And as you said, you have Indians as top CEOs, executives at world organizations leading the way. So do you think this also, in a sense, increases our diplomacy bid, increases India's potential as a soft power as well globally, having so many Indian origin people at top positions politically and in the business world?
Most certainly. If you look currently at the Indian Prime Minister, Shri Modi ji, I mean, he's put out on the helm of most top tables, and India is punching its weight. Look at the External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jay Shankar. Again, we are on the top table, and we're sort of punching our weight. So I think this sort of a thing, when I'm the next mayor of London, will pave the way for India's future on most fronts. So I think
before I let you go, Mr. Ghulati, just looking at the environment that London and that the UK in fact finds itself in, there's a cost of living crisis, inflation is at its peak, and perhaps Rishi Sunak is eyeing another term as a Prime Minister, but the right seems to be dwindling there in the UK. So how do you look at that?
I think the world is going through an inflection point as we speak. There's a war ongoing in the Middle East. There are strikes again, as you know, in Europe. And indeed, there are national elections to be held in the UK. So Mr. Sunak, indeed, we would like him to be re-elected. But the other party, the Labour Party, has surely got a lead as we speak in the polls. And I'm pretty certain Mr. Sunak is going to try his best. So I certainly believe if I can win the mayor's election, which I will on May the 2nd, that will help the Conservatives too in the bid to come into power, because I'll pave the way. Although I'm an independent candidate, but I think it does help being an Indian.
Okay, Mr. Ghulati, thanks
by
very much
origin.
For joining us on NDTV, and best of luck for your campaign as
Thank you.
London
I'm
goes to
very
polls
grateful for NDTV to have me
soon.
here today. Thank you.
Thank you.